what is the difference between giving up and surrendering? That's one that we talk about a lot. When we're talking about following the guidance, so often the guidance is surrender, surrender, surrender to the divine, surrender to your soul path, surrender to the lessons that you're being shown, surrender to the help that's being brought to you. And it can just come into our human minds. Well, what does that mean? Because our human minds are conditioned to think surrendering is a bad thing. We think of a white flag. We think of giving up. We think of giving up the fight. We think of giving up our territory, of giving up our principles and everything we've been taught to fight for. That's not what surrender means when we're on the spirit path. What surrender means on the spirit path is letting the divine come in and lift you to the next level, allowing and stepping out of the way for the divine, for your guides, for your own higher self, to bring in the help and all the resources that are there waiting for you. Our egos stand in the way of us receiving those things because our egos are conditioned to have to bear all the burdens ourselves, have to make everything feel like we have to make everything happen ourselves. And we feel like we have to do it ourselves or we're failing somehow. And the relationship with the divine, with your guides, with your own higher self is supposed to be a beautiful flow. You picture that infinity symbol. It's supposed to flow out in our surrendering and our listening and flow in with the gifts and the guidance. So think of that beautiful infinity flow when you're thinking of your relationship with the divine or with your own higher self or your guides. And it's supposed to flow. So in order for the gifts and the guidance to flow in, you have to allow your openness and your surrendering to flow and your gratitude and your vulnerability. You're sharing with the divine what you're going through. That's all part of surrender. You're saying, even, I find myself using the mantra a lot, I can't. And again, we're conditioned to say, well, that's bad, to say you can't. Of course you can't. No, I can't means it's shorthand for in sobriety when they talk about I accept that I am powerless. It's that acceptance that I'm not God, I'm not the divine, I can't do this, I need the divine's help. And my ego needs to hear those words out loud. However it works for you to move into that surrender, it's important to get to that place where you're acknowledging with yourself and with the divine, hey, I'm at the end of my human capabilities. I've hit the wall within my human self. I need help, and I'm ready to accept it, and I'm open to accept it however it needs to come in. Sometimes this really needs to come, at a low point or a real breaking point that we have to say, okay, I surrender. Sometimes we can say we surrender and we're really not, because our ego is in there going, we're like, I surrender. Okay, help me. And our ego's in there like, I really don't surrender. I'm really still in control. I'm really still torturing myself mentally. I'm really still telling myself I should be doing this. But hey, I surrender. And that doesn't work because that's not an energetic alignment with what you're really putting out there. Okay, those words are just words until you put the energy behind them. Surrendering is much different than giving up, because giving up comes with a mental thought that nothing good is going to happen now. Giving up is saying, you know what, I've tried everything. I can't, and no one else can either. It comes with the caveat, the giving up part, that you're not letting the divine help you, that you don't even think that help is possible, that you don't think miracles are possible, that you don't think guidance is really there for you. It comes with a decision and a mental shutting down. Giving up does. So when someone says they're giving up and they're really energetically giving up, that means they've already decided that all the wonderful things that are available to them actually aren't available to them, that the guidance is not available, that the divine is not there loving them and helping them. So that's a decision. That's, again, mental. So giving up is mental, giving up is the mind, and surrendering is the soul. Surrendering is the heart. So when you surrender, it comes from a very heart-based place. And the divine can feel and resonate with that and answer that with the help that you're now ready to receive. Because surrendering says, I'm ready. Surrendering says, okay, I'm going to accept and look for and recognize the help now. Because my mind is no longer getting in the way, telling me what can and can't happen. So that's the difference. And sometimes surrendering can feel like giving up. Because you can certainly feel like, well, I do give up. Like I said, I can't. But the difference is very important, very distinct, but very subtle. The difference is that in surrendering, you say, I can't, I give up, but I know the divine will take over now. And you're giving the divine that invitation. And even if you're feeling defeated, you're giving the divine that opening to come in and to lift you up and to bring some answers and to open some doors and some possibilities and to make miracles happen. And that's when you will experience miracles the most powerfully is right after you give in and surrender. You know, the days after you really hit that rock bottom, you can experience some amazing spirit communication, spirit guidance, and help. So that's the difference between surrender and giving up. And if you ever need help distinguishing things for yourself or hearing your own guidance, you know, I'm always here for you with your guides, and they can certainly talk to you on their own. But if you ever need help, I'm here. So we'll connect again soon. I hope this was helpful. Bye.